The following podcast is a live recording of a radio show first broadcast by Fresh FM with assistance from New Zealand On Air.
Kia ora and welcome along to Homegrown Only. I'm your host Shannon and I am so excited for this New Zealand Music Month. I've been very fortunate to buddy up with the Kombucha Bros who kindly have given me some wonderful giveaways for the show, and I've also been out busy bustling up some other different things to do for New Zealand Music Month and make this month something special for the Homegrown Only show thanks to Kombucha Bros. I managed to catch up with local Nelson musician Yann Le Dorre here at the Fresh FM studio. Here he is playing some of his original songs along with some chats between Yann and I about all things music.
You are not right now. Yes, you are not right now. Like a mother's boy, only wants to be loved. Like a heroin addict, never wanted to be one. Do you have more to say? Forgotten for what? Not another day. Love me and leave me alone. Yes, love me and leave me alone. If you have to go, go away for good. It's a perfect overcast summer in this neighborhood. Smoke rises from Mount Vic and you know it's us. 'Cause I'd rather my Converse catch fire than live forever on the bus. And there are no promises, and there are no promises, 'cause there's nothing you can keep at all. I gave it all to the wrong one before the fall. I once had two, but two is too much. 'Cause of course the cartel and the mafia keep in touch.
A beautiful track by Yann Le Dorre. I'm very lucky to have Yann here in studio with me today. Yann, how are you doing?
I'm good.
You're
Blessed
good?
to be here. It's a beautiful Friday. It's cold, but it's sunny. You know?
Now that song was a really gorgeous original track from you. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, so that one is called Overcast Summer. And I wrote it about a year ago when I was still living in Wellington. And it's kind of just like a whole bunch of life mantras smashed together with personal experiences. That's kind of like, you know, you can read into it as much as you want, you know, but like in life, there are no promises because at the end of the day, you can't keep anything. We all die. And if you love something, you got to let it go.
Or write a song about it.
Or write a song about it. I guess songs can kind of last forever. That's the beauty of them.
Oh, absolutely. And your music definitely has that folky vibe. Can you tell us more about the inspiration behind the style of music that you play?
Oh, yes, folk music. Ye old tradition. Well, actually, it's kind of like a family tradition, would you believe it? So on my mother's side, my granddad, Doug Hines, rest his soul, he played violin and piano in like bands around town, and that's like what he did. He was a musician. He also was one of the first dudes to have like turntables in New Zealand and stuff like that, like building them. And then he had a bunch of children. That's what they did back then. So then my mum's brothers and sisters like all played music. My uncle, Bob Hines, he was like one of the best jazz guitarists in New Zealand for ages and like tutored at the Polytech in Christchurch. And then my auntie, Anna, shout out Anna, she's like a folk musician as well and has played in bands her whole life. So it's kind of in the blood, just hearing acoustic instruments. It's kind of just gravitating towards it. It's also kind of like the layman's choice, I guess, like folk music. Like you don't really have to be good at anything to do it. It's like, you know, it's the music by the people, for the people. You know, I'm a blue-collar hero. So, yeah, and I mean, growing up, I kind of just gravitated towards acoustic because you don't need anything to play it. You know, you don't have to plug it in. You can play it wherever you like. It just sounds so beautiful, you know. You can do everything with it. Songwriter's best friend. And when you strip any song back down to its core elements, it's all kind of like folk music, you know. And yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that one of my favourite things about folk music is the raw nature and the storytelling. I think that you can't go wrong with a song that, you know, tells a bit of a story.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it's like, yeah, it just kind of goes back to like, it's very human, you know, and like, for me, I've always kind of been more connected to the natural, spiritual side of things, but not really in like a freaky hippie way, but, you know, just like life is raw. You go outside, everything's dying or being killed, and the leaves are falling and all that stuff, you know.
And it all comes back to folk music.
It all comes back to folk music.
Looking at your hands, you're busting to play another track.
Kinda. I don't know. I'm just fidgeting.
You're an amazing musician. And have you always played the guitar, or did you start on the recorder? When did the start of your music journey begin?
All right. So yeah, I had musical family members that were around. When you're a kid, though, you're always kind of like, they should shut up and stop singing songs. But it's pretty funny. But I started playing music when I was at high school in like year 9. And I just did like a module. You know how you have to like choose modules. So I just chose music because I had to do something. And, you know, when I was like 13, I didn't have any identity really. You know, I just like playing Pokemon. And like, so I was just like, you did music and I don't really think about it. Maybe I liked Linkin Park and Eminem, you know, that's what I liked, whatever. Like that was what was cool to me at the time. And it was just like pretty angry music. But yeah, I played guitar in year 9 and I started playing right-handed and I just sucked so bad. I was so bad. Like, and I did that for like 2 or 3 years and I was terrible. And every year I'd do music and I was like, you know, just like, like that, you know, and it was just like, I had no passion for it. I was just doing it at school. And then I started skating when I was like 14, like skateboarding. And then my like teenage brain kind of switched on and I was like, oh, skating, cool. And then if you watch a lot of skate videos, they always have like great music. So you kind of like start thinking about it more. And then when I was like 14 or 15, my parents took me to like a Pearl Jam concert in Christchurch, and I wasn't even like a big Pearl Jam fan really. They were just like, do you want to come on this family trip to see Pearl Jam? And I was like, oh, yeah, cool, that sounds pretty fun. And then went and saw Pearl Jam, and it was pretty epic. It was like a big 3-hour show, and it was funny because my sister was real sick, so my parents had to sit in the grandstands with her, and she would have been, because she's a couple years older than me, and then I was like sitting in the grandstands. I was like, no, I'm just going to go down to the pit. And then I just like, 14-year-old me was just like hanging out, moshing out, even flow for like 20 minutes. It was pretty good. And then that same weekend, we didn't have like Sky or anything when we were growing up. So I remember we stayed in a motel and had like C4 and like the music video. You remember that? C4? Music video TV?
Hand on heart, I do. have a little confession here. I have VCR tapes that I would record on a Saturday morning. Was it R2R, ready to roll? Then I'd play them for the entire week.
Well, I mean, like, dude, bring that back. That was, like, the best thing ever. Like, I loved having, like, infinite music TV because it's like, I mean, this is kind of sidetracking, but it's like, that's the beauty to me of radio where it's like, you don't have to choose and, like, you're trusting in what's being played, you know, and, like, you'd be like, I completely forgot about that song. What a banger. Or you're like, what is this? And I just love the spontaneity of it. And I miss music TV. Not that I ever got to watch it much because we didn't have the channel, but when I did see it, it would just be like, you know, iconic videos like Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, like with the music, with the video game.
Absolutely.
And when I was a kid, I was like, I'd love to play that video game. It looks so good. They really made it. Oh, no way.
I'm a bit of a Chili's fan. And yes, someone has created.
I mean, that's probably my favorite music video of all time. Except, so what I'm about to reference, it was like, that weekend I saw Pearl Jam. We were staying at this motel, and obviously Pearl Jam, one of the 4 iconic grunge bands. And then I saw the music video for Heart Shaped Box by Nirvana, and I was like, whoa, what is this? Like, and my stepdad, he's like an old punk rocker dude, and he's like, oh, that's like Nirvana. And I was like, who's that? He's like, that's Kurt Cobain. And I was like, man, this is like the best thing I've ever heard in my life. And then Kurt Cobain was playing like left-handed guitar, and then I was like, I'm left-handed, like maybe I should just switch. And then lo and behold, my uncle Bob, who I mentioned before, he got me a left-handed guitar, and then within like, I don't know, maybe it was even like 2 weeks, I was like a million times better than I'd ever been right-handed. And then it was just like Nirvana, I don't know, feeling emotional, writing songs, being grungy, riding my skateboard, and it was just like downhill from there, I guess. Oh, so that's kind of where it began.
I'd say uphill. I'd say starting out Nirvana, skateboard. Yeah. That's very much an uphill journey.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, you know, like you have these defining moments in your life and you're like, that's what I want to do. Or like, this is me. Like, it was so like, it's like that story, like everyone tells it where you're like, you find something you just connect with so immensely. And like, before that, I didn't really know who I was. And like finding that stuff and where that led me, like, I mean, the connection between like Nirvana and folk music might kind of seem far between, but like, you know, it's like you go back far enough, it's like Neil Young, he's the godfather of grunge, but he's also like one of the best folk musicians ever.
Oh, absolutely. And I think all music in one way or another is connected. Once you start stripping back the layers, it all comes back to the basics.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's kind of how I started. And then, so yeah, I've been writing songs kind of since I was 15. I mean, I wish I could still play the first song I wrote. It was a rip-off of like, how did that one go? Don't let the days go by. You know that song?
Glycerine?
Yeah, Glycerine. And I did the song and it was like, don't let my doggy die, Fitzy. It was hilarious.
Brilliant.
It was a rip-off of Glycerine. That was the first song.
I think they sounded completely different. They're really good. So I think that you should charm us with another song. Do you want to give us a bit of an intro about the next song you're going to play for us today?
All right. Yeah, so this one is, I suppose we'll get into this after this, but this one's called, sorry, that was just a real non-statement, but this one's called We All Got Problems, and I wrote it when I was on Waiheke Island last year, and I was there for a wedding, and then I was just attending the wedding, so I had nothing to do with anything, and so I was staying at this big villa, and then everyone went out, and then I just drank like 4 beers, and I just sat on this balcony and just wrote the song in one go, which sounds normal, but when you write so many songs, eventually it's very hard to write a song in one go, and usually now I'll just write little bits at a time. But this one came out all in one go. It's called We All Got Problems. My running joke is, we all got problems. Am I right? Anyway, so this is that. Oh, shit. I broke my leg on Saturday, but my friends couldn't feel my pain. They had to go, so I drove home. I called you first 'cause I was hurt. You didn't answer to make things worse. It's illegal and I'm behind. We made it back to find out that her house was empty, even though you had nowhere else to go. A friend in need is a friend who pleads for your help when they're in grief. So if you can't be there, why should I care? 'Cause we all got problems, but I'm in love with my troubles and the stars above. And I swear the dead ones shine down on me. You took his room, then broke into. Took every drink they brought for you. Well, I'm glad at least God's looking out for someone. 'Cause though this job might make me quit, someone's gotta pay for all your shit. So shut up and be thankful. To everyone and every son who works to keep the rain from falling on your morning glories as you lie in. And all's I have's this melody and the same old broken things. How can you steal what's given freely? We all got problems, but I'm in love with my troubles and the stars above. And I swear the dead ones shine down on me.
Thank you so much for playing that song for us. And thank you also to Kombucha Bros for sponsoring this New Zealand Music Month series, Nelson's best love Butch Brews. You can find them at all good retailers, including Woolworths stores across New Zealand and online at kombuchabros.co.nz. Loving locals, supporting locals. So, Yann, you're back in Nelson. You've been in Wellington for a bit. How are you finding the music scene down here? Are you in a band? Are you playing gigs?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's very, very different to Wellington. It's a lot more like cruisy and chilled out. Yeah, as far as like going out, I haven't really like been to too many bands or anything. I'm kind of just like haven't dipped my toes. I'll pop out to the open mics occasionally, go clear the dance floor, which is always hilarious. I always say no one can clear a dance floor as fast as me. I pride myself on that. It's funny as hell. People would be up there and they'd be doing like wagon wheel, and then I'll go up and play these songs, and then everyone's like,
That would be a great name for an album. I'm just throwing it out there.
But yeah, sorry, what was the question? How am I finding the music here?
Yeah, I find the Nelson music scene is quite different to Wellington. And how have you found it here? Like the opportunities? Are you in a band? How has the Nelson musical journey been for you?
Yeah, well, no, it's been awesome in that sense because it's like, yeah, I do have a band. So, and it's kind of just comprised of friends and like friends of friends, which is awesome because it's always nice making music with people you love, especially. And yeah, I mean, the climate here is so much just more chill. Like in Wellington, if you have a band, you're guaranteed that if you're playing with good people, they're going to be in like 5 other bands. So it's very hard to like coordinate practices and get people to commit, which is absolutely fine. Little old Yann sometimes falls down the list, but whereas in Nelson, everyone's like, "Oh, a band, awesome!" Like I haven't played in a band in years, or like and they're so free and happy to commit their time, and kind of like in that sense, it's been like kind of one of the best experiences. And then I guess also coming down, on after like 10 years of whatever, making music up there. It's like the things I know now about how to run a band and the sounds we want. It's kind of good. Like, the experience, I don't know. I feel like I got an invaluable experience in bringing that down and then playing with people that are free. It's great, Also, I now have like a rehearsal space, which I like never really had in Wellington. So it's like, it's good. I think overall, just chill, just cruisy. Like no one's in a rush, but it's like it's beautiful, It's relaxing, but it's also exciting because there is quite a lot of opportunities because there's lots of room for bands. Whereas like Wellington, it's stacked, It's lots of big fish in a small pond, Yeah. Whereas here, the city's ripe for the taking.
I think with a lot of musos, we're in that post-COVID hangover, and a lot of people are realizing that Nelson is actually a pretty great place to live. I think you hit 18 and you're like, get me out of this town and let me spread my wings and fly. And then all of a sudden you go, hold up, Nelson is actually a really special and beautiful and pretty awesome wee city to live in. And this weather, like, come on, look at today.
Well, it's stunning.
Putting it on. So
I think it's rained 2 days in the last 5 months, so...
We are very lucky here. And in saying that, we're so lucky to get musicians like yourself who have spread their wings, gained all this knowledge and skill and worldly views, and developed their talent, of course. And then they've found their way back to Nelson. Now, have you found your style of music has changed over the years, or have you always stuck to the same style?
Yeah, I mean, it's changed. I mean, I've always played acoustic guitar. That's kind of the one thing. But I've experimented with a lot of different styles and just like, I mean, just your sound, my sound has like always been maturing and getting better because like I was never good to begin with. So it's like I've just been putting in hours and hours and hours and hours of work. So it's like, for some people they can just pick things up and they're like have the most beautiful angel voices and you're like, man, you just make it look so easy. Whereas like for me, it's always been like the only way to get good has been practicing and crafting, and so my sound has changed. It's like kind of it's a similar idea of when I started, but it's way more refined, I suppose. And like, I think I've just gotten heaps better.
Have you found life events have shaped your music as well, like becoming a father, even just moving back to Nelson? How is that reflected in your music?
Yeah, I mean, every song is a true story,
So cool.
I don't know. I'm always writing. I don't know, like, you can write existential things, but a lot of those ideas just come from, like, obviously reality. Life happens. Life is so interesting. Like, and yeah, I mean, being a father and going through all that stuff, it enriches your soul, So yeah, I mean, all that definitely inspires my work, for sure. I wouldn't, like, know any other way, really. I don't know, like, I can't just, like I'm not like Bob Dylan. I can't just make up a song about something. It's like things have to be kind of inspired by real life events. All names and locations have been changed for privacy purposes.
Okay, I've got to hear another song.
You want to hear another?
I want to hear another song.
Oh man! All right.
So I'm really putting you on the spot here, aren't I?
I feel like my songs, like when I'm getting into the second half, I'm into it. I keep starting them quite bad, but you know, whatever. People will just have to love it. Okay, this one is called Forget It. So you better forget it. Feels like this year has only begun. Are you afraid of all that's happened? A few hearts been broken, few babies been killed, a few friends aborted that morning after pill. The sun, it was rising as our love came down. You hit your head on the concrete while I lay on the ground. Hungover, unhappy, we walked to the beach. The tears were now gathering, but not a cloud to be seen. He got a haircut to hide what was coming. They finished her first house, now got to build another. They flew to Australia in search of their youth, but it passed in the gutter and it wants nothing to do. I bet on you and we won just to lose. I can't help but gamble on love I can't choose. 2 years of you watching, you wait in the static. They partied forever, so we kissed in the attic. We saw her play twice, both sick in one weekend. You told her you loved her without even speaking. We drank beers at my house, no one could defend me. You let me leave with her, what were you expecting? Seasons bring change, but this time I tipped. I wanted your warmth to stay for a bit longer. I needed to move on again, but winter don't need you to grow in the rain. They left us to die alone and together. Forget it, I'm tired, but I will remember.
Another beautiful song, and I love the storytelling. That's what I love about folk music. You really get taken on a journey.
Yeah, I mean, that one kind of is literally just a big, long... It is kind of a story. It's a bit of a long one, but... yeah, I mean, it's just like a sequence of events that happened. You know, the song's called Forget It. It's just like a year in the life. You know?
A year in the life. So are you one of those musicians that you walk around with a little book in your pocket, frantically jotting down life events, or do you sit down and just let it all come to you?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Yeah, I'm definitely like a moleskin addict, you know. I have it's my most prized collection. It's my most prized thing, I think, is like just my moleskins, my journals, because that's where all my lyrics go. So yeah, if I get inspired, I'll pop it in the book. Sometimes it's more convenient to pop a note on your phone. And other times, you just sit there and you play the guitar, and the first thing that comes out of your mouth inspires an entire song, you know? But yeah, I mean, it's pretty important to note down your lines because it's very easy to forget them, and it's really annoying when you do.
Especially when you think you've written the best song in the world and then you can't remember how it goes.
For sure. There has been a couple songs that I have just written in my head, and then I've gone home and just played them, and it's like been surprisingly good. But yeah, and I try to like, I mean, if you journal, you're trying to like, what do you call it? Archive your own life or something. I mean, that's kind of what songwriting is to me, a lot of it anyway, of my own stuff. It's kind of like an archive of your life. You can look back on where you were and how you felt and who you were hanging out with and stuff.
Do you, in your head, do you hear the whole band, or do you work out like how to play it on guitar and then get together with the band and build on the other parts? Like what goes on in that mind?
Yeah, so what's like, for me, I always try to write a song that I can like play solo, because like, you know, whatever happens, the song needs to be so strong, like it needs to be crafted in a way that it sounds cool with just a few chords or whatever, you know, like you can strip it right back. That's kind of my ethos, is like, if it's can be played unaccompanied, it's a good song. If it can still be gripping, I suppose. I mean, as a songwriter, I mean, that's kind of the difference between like music and songwriting in a way, is like, are the words strong enough to be validated on their own, you know, like with just minimal accompaniment. But some songs I definitely would write with like, oh, this will be great with the band, you know. And then it's like, when you're playing with a band, I try to just let people bring their ideas, and I guess that's why you choose to play with certain people, because you trust their ideas and their intuition. And you know, I don't really like the idea of going in and just telling people what to do. Like, there'll be a vibe for sure, like we should try this, but I don't know, trusting people. And like, in a band situation, when people write their own parts, they're way happier.
Yeah, you don't want to be the director. You want the rawness of everyone bringing their take on a song.
It's really genre dependent, but for like what I'm doing, it's kind of great. Just can be a bit more messy, or not messy, but you know, a bit more organic feeling, you know. Yeah. Obviously, if you're producing pop music, it's going to be more rigid and parts are dialed, and you know, people that play in bands like that, you know, everything's written for them, and then you just go play the part.
Oh, it's a whole different ball game, isn't it?
Yeah, completely different. But yeah, for me, just, I don't know, letting everything come together in its own way. And yeah, well, I guess when you write a certain song, you always be like, oh, this one, because like I do play electric guitar sometimes, and you're like, oh, this one would be cool electric. And then like, as soon as you're playing an electric guitar in a band, it's like everything changes. Like the whole attitude. Right now we're just cruising out, you know, just mellow, playing folk music, and then strap on the old electric guitar, and then you got the Telecaster on, and then you're just like, oh, it's like the punk rock energies come out, you know, and just
start shredding.
Well, not shredding, just start screaming and feeling good and being loose, you know. But like, it's so fun, like, because yeah, I mean, shout out Biggs, by the way. For those of you who don't know, my guitar decided to fall over yesterday, and it broke a machine head. So my Martin is in the shop, but then Biggs were kind enough to lend me a guitar for this show.
That is a beautiful guitar as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's very bright, but it's kind of funny. It reminds me of like my first guitar in a way, so it's some weird shit going on there. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so my guitar broke last night, so then we had to do all the acoustic songs on the electric guitar, and then like it was a very different vibe.
There's something about an acoustic. I don't know. I just love an instrument that you can throw in the back of your car and just play it on the beach.
Yeah, beach guitars. They're a thing. You don't want to take your expensive guitars to the beach, but if you can get a beach guitar, amazing.
For listeners that want to track you down, how do we find you? Are you a social media buff? Are you on Spotify?
Yeah, I mean, just look to the stars, man. I'll be right there in your heart. No, yeah, I'm on Instagram. Yoko No, YOLKHONO, and then I have some things on Spotify, which you can also find if you're interested. Yeah, should I say what that is?
Oh, I can make sure that I share your pages and how to find you on the Homegrown Only Facebook page as well as the Fresh FM Facebook page. But that's the way it seems to be now with marketing your music. Like, look at Billie Eilish.
Yeah, Billie Eilish, she's beast. Like, I like her, but you know, like I'm just so. I find it really hard. Like, you know, people on Instagram and they're like, "Hey guys, check out my new song I wrote. This is my reel." Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, imagine if I did that. Like, I'd be like, oh, this is so cringy. So like, that's why I just live in the dark ages. But it's very bad. Like, it's terrible marketing. I should be doing that, but I just don't believe in it. So I find it hard. You know, what if the right people will hear my music if they want to, and like, I want to be a success. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like we live in the age where like, musicians now have to be their own managers. They've got to be their own marketers. You're like marketers, is that a word?
I believe it is.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly
So it's
what
like,
you mean.
so I'm going to go out, I'm going to book all my own shows.
Yeah.
I'm going to do all my own promotion. Probably record my own stuff. I'm wearing so many hats. And like, it's very hard to like, it's hard for most people to do, like, especially like, it's hard to talk yourself up and like convince other people that your stuff is good. And then it's like, now you have to make a video of saying how great you are, or like, you know, just check it out. And it's like, there's just like no mystery in that, you know. And it's like, I mean, the new model of like the music industry, it's still terrible because like streaming services don't pay anyone any money. It's good that like you can make music whenever you want and it's so accessible, but I don't know. I do like the idea of like, musicians are not very good at
admin,
or just like talking about themselves. Like, they should read someone else's. It's like, you know, when someone writes a foreword in a book about someone, it's like, you don't write your own foreword, whatever. You know, like, you get someone else to say that about you. You know, it just feels like contrived to try and convince other people of your greatness. But this is the age we live in, and people are really good at it. Obviously, like, you know, power to you if you can. I've just never been very good at it.
That's fair enough. And that's one of the beauties and why I'm so passionate about radio is like stripping it back to basics and getting the likes of you into the studio in front of a mic. And now we will make sure we share your pages and channels through our social media pages and channels. And that just seems to be the way the music world works now.
That's it, you know, and I'll reshare that. My mum will share it. She'll be like,
oh, gotta love it when mums share things.
Go well or something.
Share it to yourself.
I'll send it to my mates. They'll be like, you're pretty funny, eh?
Absolutely. Awesome.
Hopefully the song sounded all right.
I think they sounded great. I think we've really captured some magic today. And I really do appreciate your time coming in. Oh, we need to get the band in.
Yeah, is that a possibility?
You would be amazed how many people we can squeeze into this room.
Can we do 5 people in here?
We can give it a go. There's no harm in trying.
We can all be stacked up on top of each other.
Band Tetris.
Band Tetris, like, yeah.
And another shout out to Kombucha Bros for sponsoring this New Zealand Music Month series. Today we celebrated Kiwi music by getting local musician Yann Le Dorre into the studio to show us his talent. Thank you again so much for your time today. You've been an absolute delight.
Oh, thank you so much, Shannon. It's been great. Love you, Mum.
Queenie, Queenie, don't drop the ball. Queenie, Queenie, don't drop the ball. Queenie, Queenie, don't drop the ball down. Come, baby, cradling on.